Alright, welcome back to another Turning Point video. We're going to be doing a trade recap for December 31st, New Year's Eve of 2025. So we'll get straight into it. Alright, so immediately off of open, this was open right here, one of these candles. We immediately dumped and created this range right here, right? So that range being, here's the high of that range, here's the low of that range. We immediately swept out previous session lows, or pre-market lows. Um, So I was able to draw the range right here just like that. And then I was able to identify EQ, right? So the middle point of the range, equilibrium. So we can go ahead and delete this. So that right there, that line is going to be my EQ of the range. So I can see within this range, when we were down here, that we never tapped into EQ, right? So we have unmitigated EQ, and our ultimate draw was lower. So in order to go lower, I wanted to see us trade into EQ and then use equilibrium as kind of like an area of like resistance to push us to our next draw on liquidity, right? So all I did was come down here. We're on the 5 minute right now. I just drew out my fib tool from the bottom of this to the top of this high. This is the 5 minute range right here that we were trading within. And I was able to see that the 0.618 or the optimal trade entry, OTE, lined up with the first presented and only presented fair value gap. And typically a first presented fair value gap is like a stronger fair value gap. And then not only is that a strong fair value gap, also a single fair value gap in an entire leg, especially in a 5 minute chart, is typically stronger than, like stacked fair value gaps. So I was able to pair that up and then I initially just seen the reaction off of this area right here and then had a 1 minute confirmation candle and then took that to EQ, TP right before EQ. You can see the perfect reaction off of equilibrium, right? So we mitigate equilibrium, tap it in, balance price, and then now we're going to send it to the next draw on liquidity, which was ultimately lower. So we were able to take a 5 minute inverse all the way down to our next draw on liquidity, which I just took at these internal lows. So pretty simple trade, long to EQ, short from EQ. Moral of the story, EQ is not only somewhere you can use as a target, but you can also use it as kind of like a delivery for price to push it to the next draw on liquidity, right? So that's going to be it for this trade recap. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down below. We'll get back. We'll answer them. So, yeah, have a good one, guys.